In this time of uncertainty and fear, we as a society have a lot on our plates. We also have a lot of time in our hands as well, and when we are stuck alone and afraid, we can't help but struggle with our inner demons and deepest questions while waiting for the next big change to occur. The Midnight Gospel is a TV show that helps us to formulate answers to these questions about our reality and helps shed light on how to understand negative emotions that we might be facing about the nature of current events. The show was created by Duncan Trussell and Pendleton Ward for Netflix and showcases Trussell's podcast in animated form. The show tells the story of Clancy, a simulation farmer who uses a world simulation machine to interview different creatures for a space gas that he puts on the internet. The animation is hyper-stylized and very fun and colorful, and is filled with symbolism of the topic that is being discussed in the episode. The show is not for the faint of heart, and each episode covers a very heavy and meaningful subject, such as death, cancer, emotional regulation, and actual magic. Each of the interviews features an individual who is versed in their own specialty about a subject. For example, one of the Memphis Three is featured on the show, and he describes his journey of how he discovered Eastern-style magic and meditation, and how it saved him from going crazy in jail. Although each episode is deep and meaningful, there are outliers who just knock it out of the park about their subject, and literally change the way you view the world. There are two particular episodes that dynamically change the way I view myself and how I view death. The second episode of the series features interviews with Anne Lamont, a political activist, and Raghu Marcus, a meditation guru. In these episodes, the characters discuss the misconceptions of death and meditation, and how humans tend to keep themselves miserable for the sake of their own creative modality. I especially connected with these ideas because I've struggled with death and suffering in my own life, and how I've purposely kept myself miserable by drowning emotions in alcohol just to keep my personality intact. The episode gives remedy to these situations and focuses on how true love and forgiveness can bring healing, along with ideas that helping others is the key to understanding yourself. They also talk about how pain and suffering can create and mold you in a positive way if you accept the problems that you are facing and learn to accept your emotions rather than to fight them. The second episode was view-changing because the interview was with Duncan Trussell's mother about the life cycle. She was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and passed away before the show aired, and it is an incredibly soft point for Duncan in the episode. They discuss the intricate natures of the life cycle and how the only way to face death is to accept it and embrace it. I personally had my own run-in with almost dying a couple times, and every single time it felt like I wasn't ready. After jumping out of airplanes, being on live fire ranges, and almost having fragmentation grenades dropped on me while I was in Syria, it still never felt like I was ready to go. And after watching the show, I had a profound change in how I view death, and that it's one of the absolute truths within our world, and it's completely inevitable. But fighting it within the context of your own mind is completely useless. His mother explains that the path to acceptance is to understand and accept that it's going to happen, and how meditating on the aspects and being in the present help to rationalize the emotion and ground us in reality. The particular episode brought me to tears because it reminds me of just how frail we are as humans. One moment we are living, laughing, and loving, and then we're sealed in a pine box and placed 6 feet underground. With life being so uncertain and everyone wrestling with themselves while stuck at home, this show is a light of wisdom in the darkness. I implore people to watch it because I believe it helps to understand the world and ourselves in a profound way. That we're not just brains piloting meat sacks, but we're human beings with our own hurts, pains, and emotions. That there's more to life than just staying at home and watching TV. The show challenges you to change your mindset and meditate on the problems you're facing. That grounding yourself in the current moment is the key to understanding life and regulating your emotions. The Midnight Gospel, exactly what the name indicates. In one of the darkest moments of human history, an influential and challenging message to the human soul emerges. A challenge to reformulate our ideals during a time of isolation, to change the way we think about death and life, to understand what we are and how we should treat each other.